We just you're getting it.
Yeah. I got embarrassed because the law teaching
It's been bothering me
from doing the trial stuff.
when I did it.
I know your dad. He's a great lawyer.
That's why I was so embarrassed. And nobody else noticed today.
That's a word.
We're on here.
So watch that.
I don't know, but we're on the air.
That's a
Yeah, we're just waiting for the plane to land.
17.
Are we good?
Yes, we're done watching.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. It is Monday, August 21st. It is 6:30 p.m. It is time for the regular meeting of the Village Board. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger is absent with prior notice. Trustee Papantos.
Present.
Trustee Vogel.
Here.
Trustee Raffato.
Here.
Trustee Lang.
Here.
Trustee Vito.
Here.
President Horker.
Here. You have before you the minutes of the regular meeting of August 7th, 2023. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Lang, roll call.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel.
Yes.
Trustee Raffato.
Yes.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
Trustee Vito.
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes this evening.
Clerk Brady, we have a proclamation in recognition.
We sure do. In recognition of Superdawg celebrating their 75 years, whereas in 1948, Maury and Flory Berman opened the first Superdawg drive-in at 6363 North Milwaukee Avenue in Chicago. And whereas in January 2010, the Berman family opened the second iconic Superdawg location at 355 South Wheeling Avenue in Wheeling, in the heart of Restaurant Row. And whereas over the last 75 years, Superdawg has distinguished itself as a beloved neighborhood gathering spot, both for the regular patrons and for visitors from throughout the nation, as it has grown to nationwide fame for its Chicago-style Superdawgs with neon green relish and a side of pickled green tomato hold the ketchup. And whereas the proprietors of Superdawg have come to be known for their super good citizenship, hosting or otherwise supporting a number of fundraisers and charitable, intuitive, constantly demonstrating the kindness of their pure beef hearts, and whereas it is altogether proper for the Village of Wheeling to honor Superdawg for their super unique and substantial contributions to Wheeling Restaurant Row, Patrick Horker, President of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby proclaim recognition and congratulations to Superdawg Drive-In for 75 years of being in business, and call upon the citizens of the Village of Wheeling to recognize the contributions they have made to the community, which have helped make Wheeling a great place to eat, drink, work, live, and grow.
Don't be shy. Your charitable initiatives. I was so happy. I remember when you guys first decided to finally move into the property that you held on Milwaukee Avenue, and the idea that we were going to have Superdawgs. I was as excited about Superdawgs coming to this town as I was about La Francaise reopening when they did that, and actually more excited, sorry Bob, about Superdawg than I was about Bob Chin. And you must remember when Bob decided he needed to try selling hot dogs.
Yes.
I mean, God bless him. Now, I just want to be sure I heard something right. Are the hot dogs in Wheeling on the roof, are they bigger than the ones?
They are.
The Wheeling Superdogs are 15 feet tall. In Chicago, they're only 12 feet tall. And the slope of the roof is such that it would make them look too small if they weren't larger, 15 feet tall. One other distinction, which is unusual, one other distinction about the Superdogs on the roof in Wheeling is that they each, if you'll notice, have little lightning rods on the top of their heads because the Chicago Superdog is surrounded by city, but Wheeling is a little bit against the woods, and the architect said, you know, you better put lightning rods in their heads. So there are little lightning rods coming out of the tops of each of the 15-foot tall Superdogs in Wheeling.
Yeah, that could have been entertaining and tragic at the same time.
It's not tragic at all.
I mean, without them. Sincerely, welcome to Wheeling. It's an honor to have you here while we're doing the whole restaurant row rebranding. I hope you exist for at least another 75 years. Do you want to say hi and thank you?
I do. I want to say thank you to the board and to the village. We've loved being here in Wheeling. We are going to be here easily another 75 years. It's an honor and really touches us that this award is being, this tribute is being given to us on behalf of my parents, Maury and Flory, who did build Superdawg. And they built it not only as a job, but as a real passion. They loved operating Superdawg. Even when they weren't working, which they were doing almost every day until into their 90s. So they were elderly workers. They would stop in through the day because it was their hobby and their passion. And that's how it is for myself, my sister, my brother-in-law, my daughter who runs our Wheeling location. We are all family, and we feel that love given back to us not only by the people of Chicago for 75 years, but by the people of Wheeling now for 13 and a half years. So thank you again.
A taste for a Superdawg?
They are definitely a benchmark along the restaurant row. Clerk Brady.
Citizens' concerns, yes. Citizen concern and comment. Members of the public may address the board with comments regarding issues relevant to village business. No citizen shall speak for more than 5 minutes without consent of the board. Members of the general public who wish to address the board must sign the request to speak form prior to the commencement of the public meeting. I have Sherwin Begone.
Yes, sir. And just as a reminder, this is a time for citizens to make their comments and express their concerns, and for the board to listen. Neither the board nor staff will be answering questions. Good evening.
I'm here to speak about the Prairie Park West. Sherwin Began. I live in the crown jewel of Wheeling, and you make a left turn at the north end of Wolf Road, and it's Prairie Park. This is the brochure of Prairie Park when I bought the property. It's, if you remember, it's gorgeous. And there's a little shed that's missing now. It was torn down. I personally, this is personal, think that Prairie Park is now a mixture of high-rise condominiums and townhomes. And the real Prairie Park is the picture here. The developer has said many times that the fifth building was supposed to have 72 units, and now there will be an equal 72 townhomes. So hunky-dory, but the condo units average 2 bedrooms. The townhomes all have 3 bedrooms. Therefore, the likelihood is for 50% more people to occupy those units. And right now it's it's a community of mature residents and only a handful of children. The townhomes, on the other hand, may house grandparents and possible teenagers, many more cars than the ring road has been designed for. So I'm asking the Wheeling Board, before they approve construction, to keep a good eye on the London crossing. Only one of 11 buildings is under construction, and there are no additional foundations in the ground. Just the obvious is that a partially built development is not pleasing to the eye, and I'd like to have that uppermost in your mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bergon. Anyone else?
Nope, that's it today.
Thank you, sir. That brings us to the consent agenda. Clerk Brady?
Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. 11A, resolution granting a permit to Wheeling Knights of Columbus Regina Council Association to conduct a Tag Day event on September 15th and 16th, 2023. 11B, ordinance amending Title 13 Water and Sewer and Title 22 Floodplain Regulations of the Village Code of the Village of Wheeling, Illinois. 11C, resolution waiving competitive bidding requirements and approving an agreement with MDI access for the replacement of the uninterruptible power supply, UPS, for the village hall in the amount not to exceed $197,327.70 for 2023. 11D, resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code, Phase 2 Design Engineering for Wheeling Road Improvements. 11E, resolution approving an engineering agreement with Kairoba Group for Phase 2 design for the Wheeling Road Improvement Project in the amount not to exceed $666,819. That's it.
If there are no questions or comments, I would look for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Rufato, second Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. New business.
13A, resolution waiving the Fidelity bond requirements and the license fee for Wheeling Helping Hands to conduct a raffle on September 9, 2023.
Mr. Spondelis, what do we got?
Thank you. As the title indicates, this is a simple waiving of Fidelity bond for the third annual Charity Bratfest. This typically would be on consent agenda, but as Trustee Vogel is an officer of the Helping Hands committee, this is on new business, so he can abstain from the vote. I am happy to answer any questions you may have.
Looks like a lot of no shaking of heads. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Trustee Lang,
Second.
Trustee
Sure.
Vito?
Sure, Vito.
I didn't say anything, but
Yeah.
I'll take the second.
Got to give you one every now and
Our
then.
name's
That's fine.
so important to know.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
Trustee Rufato,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Abstain.
Trustee Papantos,
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
All right.
Item
13B, discussion regarding concept review for Prairie Park West Plan Unit Development.
Mr. Clicker.
Are you?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So before introducing the concept itself, just a little bit about what a concept review is. Several years ago, the village instituted a process called a concept review, wherein a developer can present their ideas to the village board and solicit an initial response to the idea of any particular development. We've been using this process successfully for quite some time. So this evening, there is a concept review for Prairie Park West, a planned unit development. And the way this will work is I will read an initial opening statement that outlines a little bit of what tonight is. Director Clicker will then provide a project overview and introduce the petitioner. The petitioner then has an opportunity to make their presentation. Director Clicker will follow up with any zoning special use or site plan concerns and answer any questions from the board. At the end of that conversation, the board will be asked a single question, and that is the board in favor of the planned unit development concept for Prairie Park West? The current request is for a non-binding approval of the proposed plan unit development concept. The feedback by the board will be used by the development team as a guide in the preparation of the formal concept plan. The outcome of this evening shall not constitute a formal approval or denial. The decision by the board tonight is non-binding and shall not prevent the applicant from moving forward with a formal application. Director Clicker.
Yes, thank you. The applicant, Smith Family Development, is proposing to develop the vacant land west of the Prairie Park condominium development with 48 single-family townhomes. The two-story townhomes would be front-loaded with two-car garages located in the front and fronting an internal private road loop extending west from Prairie Park Drive and a northern road extension from Meadow Lane. The exterior townhomes would back up to the expanded stormwater detention basins, and the interior townhomes would back up to a new rectangular park open space courtyard that is being proposed. With that, that's a very brief overview of the development. I'll introduce Jamie Smith, who will walk us through a little more in detail.
Sure, thank you for having me tonight. We're very excited about Prairie Park West. We look at it as a continuation of the villas at Prairie Park, and just as an update, we have all 18 units currently under contract. We've already had 3 closings, and hopefully we'll close out the entire project within the next few months. So Prairie Park West is located directly west of the 140 buildings here. As we click through, we really, even though it's not technically a bridge, we plan on having a pretty grand entry with columns and trees lining this frontage road that will lead to the looped road. As I said, we really look at this entry as a key factor, a key selling point to kind of differentiate the existing Prairie Park to Prairie Park West while continuing the level of class that the current Prairie Park project has. It will go in phases, 2 phases. There will be a northern phase, which will consist of these 3 buildings, 6 units, 6 units, and 8 units here. It will not consist of this 4-unit building because that will entail some water moving with MWRD. It's going to take a little bit of time, and we'll continue to work with Kyle on engineering with that. And then the second phase would be the remaining 28 units, which would be all 4 buildings to the south, as well as this most northeastern building. The units in the center, as Mr. Clicker described, all your views will be of the central park here. So even though your front doors are on the same side as your garages, your views from your bedrooms, your kitchens, your living rooms will all be of this interior park. And then all of the exterior units will either have water and or park views to the west, south, and north. Here you can see the proximity to the existing Prairie Park, 7.2 acres located due west. And here's a rendering. I did read staff's comments. We'll continue to work with staff to try to accommodate that differentiation between individual units, I believe was one of the comments, and continue to work on colors to fine tune exactly what works for both ourselves, our buyers, and the village. Here you have a color rendering showing where your additional parking is located. Oh, I didn't mean to go that far. No floor plan. 48 units, all 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, no basements like the existing Prairie Park villas. We really want to focus on the economics of this project where we can offer a quality product, but bring the price down a little bit. We're currently averaging about $600,000 on base prices for the existing 18 units being constructed right now. And with that, I open it up to any questions you may or may not have.
Trustee Rufato?
What I've seen looks great. Could you just review the 2 phases on
Sure.
which is going to go first?
So the northern, you have 4 buildings to the north at the top of the screen.
Okay.
This 8-unit building in the center here, 6 units here, and 6 units here will be phase 1. Phase 2 then will be this 4-unit building, and the remaining 4 buildings to the south at the bottom of your screen.
Great. Okay. Thank you. So who is your target?
Our target is the same target that I have with the existing 18 units, the same target that I had with the existing 240 units in the condos. It's people downsizing, empty nesters, maybe not retired yet, but near retirees, which is exactly who I got for the 18 units.
And is that what you found in the 18 units?
That's exactly I'm the one who sold the unit to all 18 buyers.
Okay. Then access. Will access, the only access that you have will be through Wolf
Correct,
Road?
through Prairie Park, and I know we've had discussions with staff in the past that the village would like to see this as a fire exit into off of Meadow Lane into the Picardy neighborhood. And we have, if that's what the village wants, then that's what we'll do. Fire access only, though.
Fire access only, so
Correct.
nothing on Meyerson Way, because one of
No one within Prairie Park, no one within the Picardy neighborhood is going to want
right,
people
yeah,
driving through.
exactly.
We don't want that. This is strictly for safety for fire.
I saw one of the renderings and it looked like there was access, but now you've clarified that.
We'll work with the fire department and staff for what's acceptable, whether it's bollards or a breakaway fence, whatever is.
So are
they
you
require.
concerned about the additional traffic that this will bring? If you take 48 units, let's say everybody does have 2 cars. Right?
So the original plan was for a 77-unit building on the existing Prairie Park villas. I can tell you right now, we average about I live at Prairie Park, we average, I want to say about 1.65 cars per unit in the condos. So the 48 units plus the 18 is actually less units than would have been in that existing building. There's also an agreement in place for not only the current project we're doing, but this one as well that provides revenue to the existing condo complex to cover costs for, essentially if you got rid of the 4 condo buildings, covers site work such as landscaping, snow removal, the clubhouse, the waterfall, all of those costs. So now the existing condo owners are actually getting additional revenue into their coffers to spend as they see fit.
So based upon that, the existing 18 and the new 48 will be able to use the clubhouse that you have?
Correct. And as I said, it's actually less units than what was originally intended with a
Sure.
5th building, which would have been 77 units.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rufato. Trustee Papantos, you had a question?
Thank you. And Trustee Rufato touched on it with the phasing. So when you complete your phase 1, how long before you start your phase 2?
Oh, it's all based on sales, but we plan on doing it continuously. That will just be as we're constructing the ring road here, phase 1 will be going up simultaneously, meaning those first 3 buildings that I talked about to the north. And then as we continue to finish the ring road, we'll hopefully be starting that on phase 2 with the units to the south.
So people would be able to move into phase 1 while phase 2 is still being constructed?
Correct. And a lot of that has to do with the economics and the lending climate today. It's very challenging out there. And so that's what our lender is calling for.
So he wants at least some units?
Yes.
And then we talked about, or you talked about a little bit about detention problems because, well, and I like the design and I like the views, but I am concerned about water and detention. So what is the problem with that far north?
Well, it's not a problem. It's just that when
yeah,
it's not a problem. It's just that when you start filling in anything with water, you're dealing with MWRD. So the engineering is just going to take time to get approvals with them, with MWRD. So because of that, we want to start with the phase where we're not impacting water, so we can continuously to work on that with Kyle of Engineering to get it fine-tuned so that they're happy, and then we can get into phase 2, which will include filling in some of the water space and digging out in other areas.
So are you planning all retention or a combination of retention and detention?
So these are detention and comp, and there is some off-site comp and detention that's in the plan as well, which is on this, right here in this property. It's not on this rendering, unfortunately, but it's in this area here.
Is all the detention complete in the original Prairie Park?
Yes.
Detention Basin 2 is complete?
I'm sorry, we ripped it out, we've attached all the sewers, we haven't dug out the asphalt yet.
Okay, so when
The
is that
trailer
going to
is
be done?
gone, the sewer is connected, and all we have to do is rip out the asphalt and do some like semi-aquatic plantings.
I love timelines. When is that going to be done?
Hopefully I'd say within the next 30 days.
30 days?
Yeah.
Thank you. And then this road is Prairie Park Road. It's not, you realize it won't become the Village Ring Road or your Ring Road
Just
won't
like
become.
the Prairie Court that we just built.
Right,
We understand it's the same concept.
great. Yeah, I would assume in townhomes that your 165 for condos may work, but I would bet your
You'd be
your
surprised.
townhomes.
I mean, like I said, I sold all 18 units to all of these buyers, and not all of them have 2 cars.
Just out of curiosity, are you planning to make the garages electric vehicle ready as far as charging stations?
So for the current 18 units, we didn't do that as a standard, but I did have probably 4 groups that paid to have electric chargers put in. So that's something we may consider to do, just to do in the back.
Great. That's it, thank you.
Trustee Lang?
Thank you. So your construction standards have always been pretty high. What better product are we getting from what we could have gotten with DB Horton? So I want to hear.
Well, you're
because
looking
I think we're getting a much better product here, and I want to hear it from you.
Well, the reason I think that you see, economics. The reason everyone's building a 3-story row home is they can fit more units on the same piece of land. The problem that you have is how many people, even younger people like me, really want to deal with 3 sets of stairs. And that's why they achieve a significantly lower price point than, for example, across the street, Wolf Road, DR Horton. It's not that anything's wrong with the project, it's just a different product. They were selling those when they were new. I think they were averaging about $310. They're getting maybe $400 today because the market's a little bit better. I'm getting $600 for the exact same square footage. It's just a different product. The problem is you can't fit as many 2-story products with a first floor master bedroom as you can a 3-story, 21-foot wide product. That's the difference.
Great. Thank you. I called it DB. It's DB.
Yeah.
Trustee Rufato, you had a follow-up?
Just a comment. I was so glad to see that they were all first floor masters, because that's, you can have guests coming over, let them go up to the second floor and you stay on the first floor. I mean, and were the existing 18, did they have first floor?
15 out of 18, and
Okay.
we achieved higher price points, and they all sold first of those 15 compared to the 3. We did 3 more traditional with 3 bedrooms up where people would have more kitchen, living, dining space, and we did sell all 3 of those units as well, but the demand for ranches, first floor master, whether it's town, the zero maintenance, first floor master is our bread and butter. We're really targeting the exact same buyers we did with the condos and with the current 18 units we're finishing now.
Thank you, Trustee Rufato. Trustee Vito?
So is that courtyard just all green space, or is there going to
It'll
be
be
something in there?
it'll be landscaped and green space.
Okay, like path or anything, or like how
We
people
talked
able to use it?
about, we're going to look at different aspects. We don't need a park there. It's not, there's
Yeah.
not going to be a ton of little kids in there. So we're looking at, just passive landscaping. People can go outside, relax, walk around, but we'll do a terrific job with the landscaping.
Thank you, Trustee Vito. Trustee Vogel, anything? Can I say something? Yeah. Relative to the whole idea of concept review, I really can't see anything except residential going on this piece of property. That's all I wanted to say.
Whenever you're ready.
Mr. Clicker?
Mr. Clicker.
Mr. Clicker?
Yes, just to briefly summarize some of the major staff concerns that Mr. Smith has already brought up. Yes, we're continuing to work with them on stormwater. We believe there is an amicable solution to all of that. We will continue to work with them and don't see any major obstructions at all. The access, yes, our fire department has indicated the desire for 2 points of access. We're working with them on making an emergency access point only off of Meadow. And then the architecture was also mentioned. We would like to see maybe a little more deviation in the facade so that it's not just a straight wall. And again, we're working with them on that. Should be some pretty minor, easy changes, and we look forward to working with the Smiths on this project.
Yeah, I saw there was a requirement, there will require refinement, the concept, final PUD, wetland and geotech report, and a truck turn analysis and traffic study, right? We get all that before the next step?
Before the plan, before the official PUD, yes, we'll have all of that.
Awesome. Now I ask the question. It's all very formalized. All right, the question is the board in favor of the planned unit development concept for Prairie Park West? We're going to go one at a time, and Clerk Brady, why don't you just...
Go down.
Got it.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
Trustee Raffado,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir. Official communications. Left, right. John and I had lunch today with Congressman Schneider. It was Cooper's Hawk. I had the Caesar salad. It was very nice.
I guess our invite must have been lost in the mail.
It was a very small table.
Oh, okay. Wanted to make sure.
Messed up the open meetings.
Yeah, it probably would have, yeah.
It was a nice chat. I mean, I do like Congressman Schneider. He's sane, as opposed to a lot of what you hear in politics today. John, your take? Not on his sanity. Just...
We definitely appreciate that the congressman has this time and has in the past taken the time to meet with us and ask about local needs, even all the way up to the federal level, which there isn't always a direct connection. So we appreciate that he has in the past and again is taking the time to make sure that he stays connected to his constituents. It was a lovely lunch.
John had a very good time. The congressman is a drummer. And John learned, and I learned what the oldest family-held company?
The oldest family-run company in the country this is, I guess, trivia for anyone watching, is Zildjian Cymbals.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. A Turkish company.
You're shaking your head like you knew this. I was going to say that would have been really impressive.
Your head because you don't care.
Mr. Kaplan, perhaps that'll be a quiz question during our board meeting. What was it again? Yeah.
Okay, and he had a relationship with that? I missed that part.
Oh, no, it was.
Just talking about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless there's anything else to waste time with, we do have the bills for August 3rd through August 16th, and I need a motion to have them approved.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Vogel, roll call, please.
Trustee Raffado,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vito.
Yes.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, we have no executive session this evening, so I would like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Raffado, second. Trustee Papantos, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The rest of you can sit here. Good night.